Back at the very beginning of January, I decided to get my tapestry loom out and weave a picture. I'd only really done one attempt at weaving before, and it was more of a practice piece than an attempt at art, but I was eager to give this a go. The first step in any weaving project is to warp the loom. This warp thread is black wool from World of Wool. I decided to do a double warp, meaning the thread runs through each gap between pegs twice. Partially because that would allow me to use some finer yarns and to add in more detail, but also just because I'd never done that before and wanted to try it. I went through my stash of partially used yarns and wools, looking for colours and textures I could use for my picture. I got these wool locks at the Northeast Wool Show last year, and this is exactly the kind of project I've been waiting to use them for. Here are all the yarns I picked. Some of these are handspun I made while first learning to use a drop spindle that I never had a use for until now, so I'm super excited to actually put them to use. I decided I didn't have the colours I wanted for the sky, but thankfully I have plenty of wool tops and a drop spindle at my disposal. I went for a deliberately lumpy thick and thin yarn to create texture, changing colours here and there to add some variation. My vision for this picture is an impression of a moody landscape, with browns and greens and some heathery purples, against a dramatic, stormy sky. So I started with this early uneven handspun in a dark brown to create a muddy base. I wanted to play around with some new-to-me techniques and adding even more texture, so I decided to try adding some sumac stitches. Then I started adding in some lighter brown. This is also early handspun, to create the impression of a path leading through the hills to who knows where. Maybe some magical realm or other. Then I put this down for the evening, intending to pick it up again the next day or next week maybe. So here I am almost 6 months later, finally deciding to make some progress on this piece. Untangling these wool locks to get some usable pieces was certainly something. Here I'm adding in some purple to give the impression of heather. Right, well we've tried some single sumac stitches. How about double sumac? The yarn I'm using here is left over from a jumper I knitted for my partner, which ended up too long and which I still need to fix so he can actually wear it. For the most part, weaving is a linear process, starting at one end and working one's way to the other. But as I kept working, I felt something was missing a bit lower down, so I pushed some of the fibres aside to add another shade of brown. Time for some more handspun! This is my first art yarn. I spun one ply thick and thin, then coiled it around the other ply to create these cool spirally bobbly bits. I think they're called beehives, but I think I've also heard another name and I can't remember what the other name is, so yeah, anyway. At first I really struggled to get all the bobbles through the warp threads without them getting caught, but eventually I figured out a bit of a system to do it, going just a few threads at a time and holding them apart with my fingers. Once I finished the hills, it was time to start the sky. My vision for this had changed a bit. To incorporate that gorgeous yellow wool, I wanted to do a sunset. Also because I love sunsets. But I didn't have very many of the yellow locks, so I wanted a paler yellow to kind of blend it out before switching to the greyish yarn I'd made previously. So I carded some yellows and some pinks and some white and even a little bit of that pale blue in the hopes of making it cohesive with the sky yarn I'd previously spun. And I threw in a bit of sari silk and mulberry silk in there too. For funsies! I made these into rolags, just because that's how I know how to prepare wool for spinning when using carders. I made some rolags more yellow and some more pink in the hopes it would create a really dramatic sunset. And this is what happens when you do fibre arts while wearing all black. When I spun them, I switched between the rolags so that the yarn would have lots of natural variation even when weaving plain. Big fan of yellow, except in sunsets, obviously, and flowers sometimes. And I have a complicated relationship with pink, but I love how this yarn turned out so much! Freshly spun unplied yarn is really springy. I built up the sky, keeping the yellow to the centre and adding in the grey, blue, purple yarn at the sides, gradually widening those wedges and decreasing the amount of yellow in the middle. And here I'm going back to add something extra in, again, trying to remedy the fact that the shape of the yellow in the sky doesn't feel right. I don't know if it actually really helped, to be honest. In retrospect, I wish I'd done less texture in the sky. I did manage to tuck some of it back in, but there's some that I can't fix without undoing a lot of work, which I didn't want to do. I'm not used to working bottom to top in this way, rather than completing all the background then adding more details in layers. It's quite an experiment and a learning experience for me to be adding in so much detail when so much of the piece is a blank canvas and I just have to imagine how it will look. But you've kind of got to try these things to learn how to deal with them, so, you know, gotta start somewhere. at this point I thought it was done, but the top line was a bit uneven and I decided it needed a bit of evening up. I also felt like it needed a darker colour there, like the gradient was unfinished. So I spun a bit of this Shetland top I got from the Northeast Wool Show in 2023. I thought this colour was perfect for this. I still went for a bit of a thick and thin yarn, but I think I went a bit over the top with that in the other yarns I spun specifically for this project. So I kind of tried to tone it down, go for a more, subtle thick and thin, Then I just filled in those gaps and then wove a few more rows of plain weave before I could actually call it done. I say done. It still needs its edges tidying and to come off the loom. I made a couple of rows of knots in the warp threads at the top, then looked up a couple of methods for attaching the weaving to a dowel, or in my case, an old knitting needle. In the end, I decided to make a slip knot with every pair of warp threads, making sure to keep it close to the knots so there wouldn't be a gap, and then tightening them and securing them once I'd put the needle through. It was pretty fiddly. There were probably better ways I could have done it, but this way meant I could adjust the loops after putting them on the needle, and I could make sure the excess threads hung down the back. Now all I have to do is tuck in all the threads hanging from the bottom and attach some twine to the needle to hang it. And there we have it! It's done! For a first attempt at a woven piece of art, I'm pretty pleased with it. I love all the texture in the landscape, though I do still think I should have used less texture in the sky. And I think if I were to do this again, I'd have used brighter colours in the sky too, rather than the more pastel shades that I went for. It is a bit uneven. I think I wove more tightly at the top than I did at the bottom. If this were a knitted piece, I'd block it to get it to hang a bit better. Do you block weaving? I have no idea. I feel like all the textured bits wouldn't get along with being soaked, but maybe I could gently steam it? Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video and feel free to subscribe and check out my other videos if you haven't already. And if you'd like to support my channel, you can do so over on my Ko-fi page, where I'll be hopefully opening up a shop and maybe some commissions sometime in the near future. So if you want to check that out, the link is in the description. See you next time and happy crafting! Bye!